In a small, dusty village where life was never easy, there lived a poor woman named Amina and her young son, Yusuf. Amina had nothing, no husband, no steady income, no family to rely on. Her husband had passed away years ago, leaving her alone with a child and a heavy burden. Every day was a struggle. Some days, they ate. Some days, they didn't. But one thing Amina never lost was hope. Every morning before the sun rose, Amina would wake up quietly, tie her wrapper tightly, and step out into the cold. She worked any job she could find, washing clothes, carrying loads in the market, even sweeping people's compounds. Her hands were rough, her feet tired, but her heart was strong. Little Yusuf would watch her from the doorway. "Mama," he once asked, "why do you work so hard every day?" Amina smiled, even though she was exhausted. "My son, I work so you can have a better life than me." Yusuf didn't fully understand, but he nodded. One day, Yusuf came home from school looking sad. His classmates had mocked him because his clothes were old and torn. "Mama," he said quietly, "I don't want to go back to school. They laugh at me." Amina felt her heart break, but she didn't show it. She knelt beside him, held his face gently, and said, "Listen to me, Yusuf. People may laugh today, but one day, they will clap for you. Don't stop. Your future is bigger than their words." Those words stayed in Yusuf's heart. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. Amina continued to struggle. Sometimes she would go to bed hungry just to make sure Yusuf had something to eat. Sometimes she cried silently at night when no one could see her pain. But every morning, she stood up again. And Yusuf, he listened. He studied under dim light. He borrowed books. He worked harder than anyone else in his class. He remembered his mother's sacrifices every single day. One evening, Amina collapsed from exhaustion while working. People rushed her to a small clinic. Yusuf was terrified. "Mama, please don't leave me," he cried, holding her weak hand. Amina slowly opened her eyes and whispered, "I'm not leaving. Not until I see you succeed." That moment changed everything for Yusuf. From that day, he pushed himself even harder. He studied late into the night, ignoring hunger, ignoring tiredness. He had one goal: to make his mother proud. Years later, something incredible happened. Yusuf got a scholarship to study in the city. The entire village was shocked. The poor woman's son? People whispered. How did he do it? But Amina just smiled, tears in her eyes. "My son didn't give up," she said. Before Yusuf left, he held his mother tightly. "Mama, everything I am is because of you." Amina replied softly, "No, my son. Everything you are is because you believed." Years passed again. One day, a big car entered the village. People gathered, curious. Out stepped a well-dressed young man. It was Yusuf. He had become a successful doctor. The same boy who was once mocked was now respected. The same boy who wore torn clothes now wore confidence. But the first place he went was not to show off. He ran straight to his mother. Amina, now older and weaker, looked up in surprise. "Mama," Yusuf said, kneeling before her, tears in his eyes. "We made it." Amina couldn't speak. She just held his face, smiling through tears. That day, Yusuf built a new home for his mother. He made sure she would never suffer again. And the village? They didn't laugh anymore. They admired. Because they finally understood something powerful: a poor beginning does not mean a poor ending. And sometimes, behind every successful child, is a mother who never gave up. Ending message for video: never underestimate the power of a mother's sacrifice. Never give up, no matter how hard life gets. Your story can change, just like theirs did.